my beautiful friends. If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Emily, and today I am bringing you guys this week's new makeup releases in Pay or Stay Away. Just being completely transparent here, I'm not 100% jazzed about any of this week's releases. I really kind of struggled to put together a list of things that I wanted to even talk about because none of these things are really calling out to me, and I try to only speak on things that really grab my attention because there are so many freaking makeup launches in this beauty community and just in general that I cannot keep up with all of it. So I just try to pick things that I actually am interested in, that actually excite me, and none of these were really that exciting to me and for my personal tastes. So my list is a little bit shorter than usual today, but getting right on into this, I'm going to be talking about the new Kat Von D Teal Aquamarine highlighter glitter single shadow situation, if you know what I'm talking about. This is retailing for $14 and it is available now, and people have been seeing it in stores at Sephora, so I believe it's available online and in stores. So conceptually, I love this idea. I love the idea of a beautiful foiled kind of teal type of highlight. I love that idea. I love colorful highlights. I really like pink highlights and purple highlights. I'd be down for a teal highlight. I like the idea of that. And I did hear that her Alchemist palette was really, really nice. I heard the formula was pretty good. I heard everything was very smooth and metallic, but wasn't overly glittery or chunky. And then she brings out this highlight. And as you can see by the photos, this is overly glittery and overly chunky. So I know that it's going to give a really nice effect for people who really want something like this. For people who like glittery highlights, this would be amazing for you, and this would give you a really nice glittery effect. Or if you wanted to use this on the eyes, I bet this would be absolutely gorgeous. But this is marketed as the same situation as the Alchemist palette. It's in the same little tiny triangle that the Alchemist palette is in. It just has the same vibe, so you think it would be the same exact formula, but it's not. It's very glittery, very chunky. It's basically just a pressed glitter that you can use on your eyes or your cheeks. So I don't dislike the product. I was just really hoping that it would be the same exact thing as the Alchemist palette, the same metallic, beautiful, non-glittery formula, and it's literally the exact opposite, and I don't think people were really expecting that. So I'm not totally hating on this product because I think for the right person, this would be totally cool. But for me, I would love to see a really beautiful duochrome teal highlight come out that has no glitter in it. That would be freaking amazing. So I hope the Kat Von D maybe comes out with a Alchemist palette round 2 and puts in new colors that are the same formula as the original one, and then maybe comes out with these singles with the glittery formula if people do want that, if she does get a lot of sales with it. Although this was a great concept, for me, I think she really just missed the mark by putting a bunch of glitter in it. And like I said, that's just my personal opinion. Some people are gonna look at this and think, oh my god, that's exactly what I've been looking for. So she's definitely appealing to the people who like glittery highlights, but for me and my taste, I want a really metallic, high shine teal highlight with no glitter. So next up on the Pay or Stay Away list is the new Drybar and Too Faced Glitter Spritzer. This will be launching on August 1st and it'll be retailing for $20. And you can pick this baby up from Sephora. So essentially this is a hairspray with gold and silver glitter in it, and essentially Drybar, which is a hair brand, and Too Faced, which is a well-known makeup brand that's known for having a lot of glittery things, a lot of cutesy things, have come together to make this hairspray for Too Faced 20th anniversary. So it's kind of the same situation with the Kat Von D glittery single highlight shadow thing that I just talked about. It's kind of the same situation with me here. I think for the right person, this could be a cool product. I think if you do enjoy doing fun things with your hair, or you do enjoy the kind of Coachella look where people spray glitter down their center part or just spray glitter in their hair in general, I think this could be cool. But I think it's kind of expensive for how small it is. The bottle literally looks to be this big. It looks like a sample size, and I know that Drybar is a very expensive brand. I bought some things from them before and I haven't been overly impressed, but my hair kind of sucks and I don't really care what I put into it, so for some people, Drybar is like their holy grail. But with that being said, I don't really feel like the people who typically buy from Drybar would really go for something like this, and if they wanted something like this, they can already get it from IGK, which is another hair brand that does things like this all the time. They have holographic hair foam, which is probably just iridescent hair foam, but they have glitter spray that you can spray in your hair. They have all sorts of funky things. I believe that they even have sprays that will tint your hair and turn it a different color until you wash it out, and they are a high-end brand and they are sold at Sephora as well. So I feel like teaming up with IGK might have been a better option for Too Faced. It just would have made more sense to me, but maybe Drybar has noticed that IGK is getting a lot of hype around them because they have these funky, cool products, and maybe they wanted to compete with that by bringing in Too Faced. I don't really know, but for me it just seems really off-brand for Drybar. Not saying that they're not allowed to do that, because they can do whatever they want, but I just wasn't really expecting this from them. And with that being said, I definitely don't need this because I don't use hairspray in my hair, for one thing, and another thing, I don't want no glitter in my hair. If you can't already tell, I'm not a huge glitter person when it comes to makeup or hair. I do, however, like glitter on my clothes because I like to look like a disco ball from the shoulders down. So next up on the pay or stay away list is the new Dior Rouge Couture blushes. These are retailing for $44 and you can pick them up on the Dior website and on the Nordstrom website right now. But be warned, on the Dior website they only have 2 shades left, and for good reason, because these blushes are selling out like hotcakes. They have 8 new shades to their blush line, and I believe this is a different formula. I'm not exactly sure how this formula differentiates from other Dior blushes from the past, but I really like the color range that they brought out. They have some deep berries for deeper skin, they have some light pinks, they have some peaches, they have some corals. They have your standard good assortment of blush colors. But I just am really drawn into this for some reason. I don't know why, but all of these colors look so beautiful. And I don't know why I'm finding myself wanting all of these, because I shouldn't want a $44 blush, but I am a blush fanatic. I love buying blush. I love having blush. I have a large blush collection. And I just really want to pick one of these up. They have a coral shade and then kind of like a pinky peach shade that are really drawing my attention. Granted, I know I already have these colors in my collection, but for some reason, something about these Dior blushes are drawing me in, and they're obviously drawing other people in as well because they are almost all sold out on the Dior website. But for right now, I cannot justify spending $44 on a tiny little pan of blush that's like this big from Dior just because it says Dior on it. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and skip over it, but I do definitely want it, and if they ever had a sale, you bet I would be there purchasing these blushes. So moving right along here on the list, we have been shown the new Kevyn Aucoin, The Art of Sculpting and Defining, Volume 3 Contour Book. This is going to be retailing for $59. It is available online right now on the website, but you can pick it up in stores on August 10th. This entire contour kit book situation consists of 2 stunning highlighters in Beam and Flash, 3 sculpting powders in light, medium, and deep, which are 2 cool tones and 1 warm tone, and those are a buildable formula. This book also consists of one of the Neo blush and bronzers, which have been shown a lot here on YouTube. They're essentially a bronzer, highlighter, and a blush in one, and they look like a little brick, and you basically just sweep your brush in whatever section you want to get out the product, or you can swirl it all together to get an overall face effect. I currently own the Kevyn Aucoin Medium Sculpting Powder, which is the contour powder. It's a cool tone powder, but it's not super cool tone, so it's not very ashy on me, because I do have a very warm skin tone, so if I go a little bit too gray, it can turn into straight ash on my cheeks in a matter of seconds. The single pans, I believe, are $52, something around the $50 range, and they are pretty small. They're literally like that big. They're pretty small. So when Kevyn Aucoin comes out with these face books, you get a way better deal. You get way more bang for your buck. You get all sorts of products for essentially just $10 more than you would have paid for just the single pan of product. So if you have been looking into the Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powders or the Neo bronzer and blush, or any of his highlighters, I think that picking this book up and spending the extra $10 or so would be a good choice and would be a good deal, and you would get a lot more product and you would get a lot more options. But with that being said, I personally wouldn't purchase this because I do already have the little single contour powder and I have a few of his blushes already. But I feel like this specific contour book is meant for makeup artists. Like, I know everyone always says that when they see a contour palette come out, but this is literally a makeup artist tool. You get 3 different shades of the contour powder. They are very different, and typically you're only going to find 1 or 2 products that actually fit your skin tone out of these contour books and these highlighter palettes and whatnot. So I think it's a good price because of how expensive his single pans really are. But I personally don't need to go out and purchase this because I already have a contour palette and I only use 2 shades out of that palette anyway. And it's kind of the same situation with highlighter palettes. I already have highlighter palettes and I only use like 1 or 2 shades out of the highlighter palettes. So I don't need to go out and purchase something else that essentially would just sit around because I'm only going to pick out the shades that are the best for my skin tone in the palette. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over this, but I do think that if you've been eyeballing some of his contour powders or some of his highlighters or whatnot, this might be a good option for you, but for me, I just do not need it. And finally, on the pay or stay away list, Urban Decay is dropping the brand new Aphrodisiac collection. This collection will be available on August 5th at Ulta and will be available on August 27th on the Urban Decay website and in stores. This collection is going to be consisting of an eyeshadow palette with 6 shades, so it's essentially the same format as the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. They are also releasing 3 new hi-fi gloss shades and 2 24-hour eye pencils, which are being re-promoted. So as far as the eyeshadow palette goes, the only shade that I'm really loving out of the palette is that beautiful kind of mauve berry shade, which looks to be maybe a shimmer or a satin. That shade is really beautiful, but the rest of the palette, girl, I do not need. This is mostly warm neutrals, and I don't need that in my personal collection. And I don't really see how it added to the Urban Decay eyeshadow palette collection because they have a lot of basic neutral palettes, they have a lot of warm neutral palettes, especially in the little mini palette form, which is essentially what this is, which is the same as the Naked Basics. They've already released quite a few of those that are basically covering the spectrum of neutral to warm neutrals. So I don't really see how this added to that collection, but to each their own. Some people might see this and absolutely love it, but for me, you guys know I am about the color. I really don't need anything like this, and I really wouldn't use anything like this, but I do think that Urban Decay should come out with a mini Urban Decay Naked Basics electric palette. I think that would be amazing if they came out with a bright version of the original Urban Decay Naked Basics with just the 6 shades. I think that would be totally absolutely awesome, and I think it would shake up the game, and I think everyone would drop their money on it. So I like the idea of them expanding on the Naked Basics palettes because they're a lot cheaper. I believe they're only $21. You do get less shades, but you can do a lot of looks with the palettes that they put together, and I think they give you a nice variety of light, medium, and deep shades. And Urban Decay does not have a permanent colorful palette in their collection. They've dropped a few here and there that have been limited edition. Like I said, the electric palette was the most popular one and supposedly it was the best one. Now, I was never able to get my paws on that guy and I regret it like crazy because I want that palette to this day and I regret not picking it up when it was on sale. I messed up big time. But they've released a few others here and there that have been limited edition, and people have kind of had their own opinions on them. But nonetheless, Urban Decay is supposed to be an edgy, kind of cool girl type of brand, but they don't have any permanent colorful eyeshadow palettes. They do have a few colorful singles here and there, but they're not super vibrant, and I feel like if they were to just put that all together in a mini palette like this, it would sell off the freaking shelves. I would personally pick it up in an instant if they were to come out with that. So maybe I should make a palette predictions on this and put this idea out into the world, and maybe Urban Decay will run by it and think it's a good idea. Or maybe they already have this in production because this has to have crossed their mind before. I mean, how could it not? But I kind of got really off topic there, so I'm sorry. But I'm not going to be picking anything up from this collection because I just don't feel like I need anything from this collection. The eyeliners look to be pretty basic. There's a more kind of plummy, purpley, smoky liner, and then there is a black liner. So it's not really anything we haven't seen before. Now, the lip glosses are really beautiful and look very interesting. They look to be a very iridescent type of lip gloss. There looks to be a more purple toned iridescent gloss, a more gray sparkly iridescent gloss, and then there is a more cool toned kind of purple gray mixture type of gloss. And they look really pretty, but that's just not really my style. I go a lot more neutral on the lips, and then I like to go a little bit more out there with the eyes. So I do like the glosses, and I think that they're pretty. I think they might be good for the right person. But as far as the palette and liners go, I'm not head over heels for them, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over them. But I need to make this electric Naked Basics mini palette come into existence, and I need to make a palette predictions on it because I want this to be a thing. I want to see Urban Decay actually do that because I think it would be really cool. But with that being said, that is going to be wrapping up this week's Pay or Stay Away. Like I said at the beginning, there really wasn't that many things that were really calling out to me. There were a few foundation launches, and I don't really speak about foundation launches on my Pay or Stay Aways because I don't wear foundation. So every time I talk about one, I would just be saying, I don't know, maybe it would be good for you, but I don't wear it. And I don't want to repeat myself too much, so I tend to leave those out of this. But I didn't really see that much that was really calling out to me this time, which I guess is a good thing. It's good for my bank account and good for my wallet, but it makes for shorter videos. But please do let me know down below in the comments what you are going to be picking up this week or what you have found interesting this week that is being launched. I would love to know, and I love to talk about makeup with you guys. But I do hope that you consider subscribing if you have not already. I am doing all sorts of makeup goodness here on this channel, and I do Pay or Stay Away every single Monday. I do also hope that you consider giving this video a big ol' thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and hitting that notification bell down below if you do enjoy my content and you want to see more of it. I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic and wonderful day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!